By the end of this video, you will have some answers to some of your curl concerns or problems. On my Instagram channel, I have a little curl club, like a broadcast channel. A few of you guys are in there, and I asked you a while ago now, what curly hair struggles are you having? And how can I help you, pretty much. So I'm dedicating this video to going through as much as possible. I've tried to gather all the responses into different types of topics so that I can just go through each topic, and that way I can cover a little bit more information rather than like a very specific question. But I will do my best so that hopefully by the end of this video, you have some answers and you have some actionable steps to overcoming some of these curl problems. Okay, so some of the questions surrounded people saying that their curls are weighed down and they have over moisturized curls, stringy curls, and all of these things can sometimes fall in one category of just general like over moisturization or product buildup. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this first and kind of give you some tips to avoid this in the future. When we're styling our curls, we're often going in with a leave-in conditioner, a cream, a gel, sometimes a mousse as well, and then maybe even a hairspray. We're putting oil on it, and our curls might come out great that particular wash day because we've got all of those layers, all of those steps in place to ensure that our hair stands up against humidity, the environment, and our curls last. That's all great. However, regardless of like what those products are made of, that's so many layers of products. So when you're getting to your next wash day and you're washing your hair, ready to style again, if you haven't fully got rid of all of that product buildup or just that environmental dirt, you're gonna really struggle to get that same result, or you're just gonna struggle to get the most out of your curly hair styling routine. So if your wash day results are looking kind of greasy straight after you wash them, or the ends are really stringy, maybe you have even some frizz as well, and your hair's just feeling overly soft, this may be a sign that you're not cleansing your hair properly from that previous wash. So I want to share with you some of my favorite shampoos that I do feel do a great job at cleansing, and I kind of alternate through all of these shampoos depending on if my hair needs more of a thorough cleanse or if it needs more of a gentle one. So I'm going to share those with you. You don't have to go out and buy these specific shampoos. I'm just sharing with you what works for me. So I have to say that the best that I have used so far in terms of really giving me a squeaky clean wash, and we don't want that every wash, bear in mind, but it's the K18 Detox Shampoo. It's a color safe clarifying shampoo with skincare inspired ingredients to break down dirt, oils, metals, and things left behind from heavy product buildup. I've definitely shown this a lot on my channel in my full wash day routines, but this is a shampoo that you want to use if you're wanting to completely clean the slate. You know, really clean the ends, really clean the scalp, and this is gonna do the job. It quite literally is a detox, right? So I use this shampoo around twice a month, sometimes more, sometimes less, but around that. And you don't really want to always use a clarifying shampoo because you don't always need a squeaky clean wash. But if I feel like my hair feels dry straight after because you are kind of cleansing everything, you do need to go in with a conditioner. The conditioner I pretty much always go in with after using a really clarifying shampoo is the post-wash calming conditioner from Curlsmith. I really like this because you can use it on your scalp. I've also spoken a lot about this on my channel, and you can obviously use it on your ends, but you want to leave it on your scalp, kind of massage it in, detangle your hair, fully distribute it, leave it in for 2 to 3 minutes, and then wash it out. And it gives a really nice cooling sensation on the scalp, which can kind of soothe the scalp after the drying effects of like a clarifying shampoo. And then the one kind of next to that I also use quite a lot, it's the Wash and Scrub Detox Shampoo. This is more of like an exfoliating shampoo. There's also a primer that comes with this kind of kit. So it's the Curlsmith primer, this scrub, and then this conditioner. And honestly, it gives you the best fresh, clean scalp. I don't actually always go in with that primer, especially if I put like a pre-oil on my hair at all. Sometimes I use that Mielle rosemary oil. So if I put that on my hair dry before I go in and wash, then sometimes I go straight in with this and then this. And then on those in-between wash days, I use kind of any other shampoo that I'm enjoying and loving at the time. And I have a lot of these in that particular category. Like, these are the kind of shampoos that are still gonna clean your hair effectively, but they're not necessarily necessarily clarifying your hair. So they're good to use like every day if you like, and I have so many of these. So this is like number one in terms of making sure that you've got the slate clean so that your styling products that you now put in your hair can really react well and you can get your desired result without weighing your hair down. So that's step one. Step two to this is making sure you're identifying what type of hair you have and what product you might need in terms of how light or heavy it is. But ultimately, if you feel like your hair is on the finer side, you want to stay towards lightweight products. And lightweight just means, you know, more sprays, more gels that would run down your hand, for example, not these thick butters that you can sometimes get. My hair likes light to medium kind of weight products, and my hair can get over moisturized quite easily as well. Let me share with you some of my favorites. This is a newer favorite, and I don't actually know if I've mentioned this on my channel before, but this is my second bottle. I'm halfway through it and I am absolutely obsessed with this. It is the Fable and Mane, I think it's called the Maha Mane, yeah, Detangling Leave-In Conditioner. Can you see that? Yeah. Absolutely incredible. I'm absolutely obsessed with it and I'm going through it so quickly because it's also great at refreshing as well. It also smells incredible. Like my boyfriend has said to me multiple times, like, oh my God, what are you wearing? Like perfume? No, it's my hair. Some other lightweight sprays that I really like is the Aveda Nutriplenish spray. I haven't actually used this in a long time, but I went through a phase of using it constantly. The thing is, because I get sent quite a lot of products, as this is my job as well, also on Instagram, it is hard with only really washing my hair twice a week. To go through products and use everything all of the time. So sometimes I go through stages of not using things, but it's not for any particular reason. It's just that sometimes testing products requires me to do it for several wash days in one chunk. So I need to give this a bit more love, but I absolutely love this and it's very lightweight. Used to use it a lot. The Imbue Curl Conditioning Leave-In Spray is very lightweight, suitable for all curl types, it says. I think all of those products are that I've mentioned anyway. This is kind of used in the same way to detangle, nourish the hair, that first kind of step before you go in with a gel. And I believe you can get this in drugstores, so like Superdrug. I'm not sure if it's in Boots, but it's definitely in Superdrug. And I absolutely love this as well. Another lightweight leave-in, but it's not a spray, is the Weightless Air Dry Cream from Curlsmith. This is incredible. I use this quite a lot. It pairs really nicely as well with the Hydro Style Flexi Jelly just after it. They're part of the same recipe line from Curlsmith. This is the Hydro Style Flexi Jelly. And you can see on my hand how it's dripping down. That's the sign, but it's just so lightweight, and if you really emulsify it and you glaze and scrunch on soaking wet hair after a cream, it's going to give you some really nice weightless bouncy results with some hold but without weighing your curls down. But another hack that you can do is if gels are too much for you, you can go in with your favorite leave-in and then you can go in with a light hairspray to kind of hold everything in place. So this is a good option. This is the Flawless Finish hairspray from Curlsmith and it's a 4 out of 10 flexible hold. They also have one that's a bit stronger in hold, but you could spray this all over your hair once it's dry to kind of lock everything in place, and it will be very lightweight. It won't be overpowering at all. So this is another little hack if you struggle with having too many layers of products and potentially weighing your hair down. So hopefully that gave you some advice on how to actually get that clean slate so that your products can work well, and that just make sure that you're using lighter products if you think you're over moisturizing your curls. I really hope that helped. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So there was a question on how to treat heat damage, and I believe there are a few more kind of around this topic. So let's go through what you can actually do if you're that person that's straightened your hair for a really long time, you've suppressed your curls. The first thing I would recommend you do is the obvious, which is try to just stop straightening. Try to limit your hair from heat completely if you can. There are things you can do to kind of strengthen the lengths of your hair, because our hair is already dead, you know, when it comes out of the scalp. There are things that you can do to strengthen it, but you can't really alter it too much. You can go in with things like bonding treatments that are going to help on more of a molecular level. I'll put on the screen some of my favorites, but ultimately when your hair is really suffering from heat damage or from like a keratin treatment specifically, you're going to have have to cut that off eventually. And this is often why people go in and have that big chop and they cut off loads of hair, because they want to start afresh. They want to really look after their hair, so what's coming out of the roots is starting to respond well and it's starting to curl, and then the ends, you'll notice, are a little bit straighter and they'll just slowly grow off the end. So some people, once they've grown their hair to kind of like here, that new growth, they will go in and just cut the dead ends off. That is pretty much what I did, although it wasn't as drastic for me because my hair was already on the shorter side. It wasn't very long. If you're someone that has very long hair and you really want to keep your length, but you just don't want to part ways with those kind of dead ends, especially if they're going all the way up here, then all I will say is it might frustrate you in the curly hair journey. If you're really looking after your hair, you'll notice that the roots are going to really start responding well, and there'll be such a strong contrast between the straight bits and the roots that are curling. There are things you can do, of course, to kind of enhance the damaged area to try and make it match more, but if your hair's very curly, it's going to be difficult to do that. But what you can do is brush styling techniques. You can do like finger rolling, you can do Denman curls on the bottom, and you can actually just tailor your curly hair techniques to different parts of your head. So there's no reason why you can't just kind of brush that top area normally, and then with that bottom section that's really damaged, really go in and do those Denman curls or those finger rolls to really enhance it, and then get a strong hold gel and really try and scrunch that in place to match the top layer of your hair that's responding well. But if you've had like a keratin treatment or something like that and you're really noticing that your hair is just completely straight at the bottom, unfortunately it's just going to be like that until you're ready to part ways with it and cut it off. There's no real way of actually undoing that, I don't think. So they would be my top tips on heat damage and what you can do, but honestly the biggest tip is time and consistency. If you're really looking after your hair as much as you can and you are consistently doing that and you're limiting heat on your hair, then after a while you are going to notice a difference. Like, you will definitely see your hair start to improve, and one day you'll look back and be like, I'm glad I started that process now, so now I have a full head of healthy curls, because that's how I feel like right now, and it felt impossible at the beginning, but I am so glad I started that journey. The next topic I had a lot on actually was to do with flat roots, lacking volume, flat on the top, no volume at the back. I'll link a video here at the top because I very recently filmed a video on how to get maximum volume and kind of more curl at your root. So bookmark that and go and watch that after this one. Firstly, I just want to say that it's very normal to not have a curl here at your root, and that can just be normal for some people to have your hair curl further down your hair. So that's one thing to bear in mind. The second is, if you naturally don't have a lot of density or your hair is very fine, even if your hair's really curly, it would be completely normal if you didn't have loads of volume and your curls fell flat. I do think people view flat roots and lack of curling at the root as like an issue, but this should be more of a style preference, because it's certainly not like a cause of concern, because it's just natural for some heads of hair. So hopefully that cleared some stuff up first. If you really want to enhance your volume though as a style preference, then I can definitely help you there. The first thing I'd recommend doing is following my volume routine that I will link at the end of this video, but I've also just linked it at the top. I would also make sure you're not weighing your hair down, and you can refer to the information at the beginning of this video for that, because weighing your hair down is going to really affect your volume on top. Secondly, use volume products. I won't repeat all of that here today, but go and search for volume products and refer to that specific video, and in that video I link all of the products there, so you can go and click on them, check them out and buy them if you want. A second thing I would really recommend is root clipping. So root clipping is where your hair is kind of maybe 50% dry, or it might be still completely wet and you haven't even started drying yet. So I often put 1, 2, 3 like that just at the front of my hair. And what this can do is really enhance the lift at the root while your hair is drying. So if you're someone that doesn't really like to diffuse their hair and you typically air dry kind of around the house, what these clips will do is just stop your hair from sticking to your scalp and naturally lift your hair in the drying process so that you have this voluminous result at the end. So I had a lot of people talk about frizz in different ways, just people struggling with frizz in general. I saw one that says, how do I make my wash day curls last longer? By day 3 it's a frizzy mess. And other people have referred to their hair not holding and the frizz just kind of being out of control. So let's break this down a little bit. Again, I'm going to link a video at the top here because it is really detailed and helpful in kind of a step-by-step educational way on how to minimize frizz in your curly hair routine. But I do want to say that frizz is a very normal component of curly hair, and frizz can also help give us that volume if that's something you're looking for. So it is sometimes good to have a little bit of frizz. I am trying to embrace my frizz more and more. My hair is actually quite frizzy right now, and I wouldn't say this is like very defined compared to what my hair result normally is. And I'm just rocking it today, guys. Like, I'm loving the frizz, and I love it in like this half updo. It gives it more volume. It's so normal. So I do just want to say that first, but I also appreciate that people don't like it and people do want to get rid of it or just keep it at bay. So if that's what you want to do as a style preference, I'm obviously going to tell you how. The first thing I've learned that drastically helps me kind of have control of the frizz in the styling process, at least, is distributing my products evenly. This is more so with the leave-in conditioner or the curl cream. So when you're using either a leave-in conditioner or a cream, this is normally to smooth the hair and actually smooth the frizz. And when you're distributing it evenly, so taking a tangle teaser or your favorite detangling brush and brushing that all the way through first before any brush styling or any fancy techniques, this is going to mean that every single strand of your hair has been coated, meaning that every strand is going to benefit. So you're not going to have these random patches that have been left that are all of a sudden frizzy. So that is the first tip, even distribution. And I know it sounds so simple, but I see a lot of people just rake their cream through and they don't necessarily brush it, and that could be why, because you're actually missing areas of your hair, and it's very easy to kind of miss the back sometimes. Then when it comes to a gel, some people do like to brush gels through, but I find if they're very sticky or strong hold, this could be damaging, because if you're brushing something through that's a little bit stubborn and not silky smooth, you're going to notice some friction. You don't want to snap your hair or anything. So that's typically why I don't brush gels through. The other thing that I found really helps with frizz is actually taking the time to brush clump my hair. By this I mean kind of applying tension with my index finger, gliding the brush down my hair in sections. This really helps kind of define and enhance the curl, and what it does is help group my hair into curl families, into curl clumps. And what I found is when I have a very defined result like that and my hair is sitting in clumps, my hair is less likely to get frizzy because they're kind of all wrapped up in these kind of curl families. And then another tip for longevity and just making sure your curls last as long as possible is going in with a hairspray. This is one that I just go to so much and I'm nearly out of it. It's the Flawless Finish hairspray, and it's the 4 out of 10 flexible hold. And I just spray this all over when my hair is fully dry. And honestly, I feel like this gives me so much more longevity and my hair just lasts so much longer. And you can also use this for hairstyles and things, for those flyaways, keep your hairstyle in place. Brilliant. And then another key thing, kind of the final part of this frizz chapter, is make sure you're sleeping on a satin pillowcase. At night, your hair isn't going to last if it's gliding on cotton, because it's not going to glide really. There's going to be friction caused and your hair's kind of going to roughen up at night, and it's going to be difficult for you to preserve your curls throughout the week. So highly recommend having a satin pillowcase, and it will just help you keep the moisture in your hair, but also make sure you're protecting it as well. So put it up at night in a way that you're comfortable with. I share on my channel a lot about how I pin my hair up at night. I don't know if it's for everyone, but it's kind of the only thing that works for me, because obviously there's bonnets and buffs that you can use and a lot of people love and use those, but for me, I just have this thing with having something on my head at night. I can't do it. Like, I will take it off in the night subconsciously, it'll be gone. I can't keep it on my head. So the only thing I've been able to do is have a satin pillowcase, and then the pinning of my hair up at night, which doesn't take much time at all once you get used to it. And my curls last so long. All of these things will help minimize frizz, and it will also help your curls last, and this will mean that you won't have to wash your curls as much as well. Okay, the last topic we're going to talk about in this video is refreshing. Someone said, I need help with refreshers in between washes. Okay, if you're waking up and your hair feels very soft and it's kind of like not holding, I would go in with some grit, some sort of hold. You can also actually go and take a little bit of the gel that you used on wash day and take a little bit in your hand with some water and kind of glaze it and scrunch it into your hair to kind of give that grit and hold back into your hair to sculpt your hair again. If your hair's feeling the opposite to that and it's kind of overly brittle and feeling really dry, you might need some more conditioning products in your hair, maybe some more moisture. So what I would recommend is actually looking at what you used on wash day when you styled your curls and getting a bit of that again. So getting a bit of the leave-in conditioner you used or the cream you used, maybe adding a bit of water if you need it to kind of spread, but if not, actually just go in with that and scrunch it in and then diffuse. Another thing you can do if you have the time is obviously you can do a full wet refresh. You can actually go and spray down your hair and then go in with one of those products of choice, especially if your hair is really frizzy but you don't have time to fully go and wash it. Obviously you can definitely go and do that, but it just might take more time. Another little hack I like to do is use steam. I've shown on my channel how I actually go in and use a steamer on my hair, but if you don't have one, you can just use a steam after your shower. So when you get in the shower for like a body wash, put your hair up in a shower cap or a bonnet, and then after your shower's finished and the water's off, just use a steam in the room and just let your hair absorb the steam. And I just find, for me personally, steam really helps get that definition back into my hair. Sometimes it does cause a little bit of frizz, so after doing that, I'd sometimes go in with a little bit of cream or a bit of gel, depending on how my hair's feeling, but steam really brings that definition back into my hair. And that is it, guys. I really hope these topics helped you out and maybe gave you some more clarity on how to go about some of these curl concerns. If you liked the video, please make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I'll see you next week. Bye.